That's how it be.
I'm down there dolo though, bro. It's crazy.
We'll talk.
Yeah, talk. Shalom, shalom.
Hey, shalom, brother. Already on the comment board. My man.
Shalom, big up. All right, we are the Hebrew Israelites coming out here week in and week out. Prophesy the downfall of this wicked ass kingdom, America, spiritual Egypt, and modern day Babylon. Right? To tell you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that you are Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, that God's chosen people that the Bible spoke of. Right? We're not niggas, spicks, and wetbacks. Okay? We're not Muslims. We're not Buddhists. We are God's chosen people, man. Yasharallah, the Prince of the Power. All right, but first and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory
to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'Harakah, Kodash.
Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who teach and rule well with peace and salutation to the whole full elect.
Hey, we could just title this lesson "Spiritual Thoughts." I'm just gonna go with the spirit and move in the spirit. I didn't really have a topic, but I have some things on my mind that that I feel like the Lord has been, playing over and over in my head, and it's made me think about a lot of things, man. But I'm gonna start off with this. My grandmother passed this morning. She was 83 years old, so I believe she lived a long life. 83. Not many of us make it to 80. But the main reason why I'm bringing that up, because I wouldn't usually tell the YouTube world about any stuff like this, but it's because a spiritual man sees everything in a spiritual eye, right? And because I'm a righteous man, well, at least I try to be a righteous man, and I'm trying to see everything through a spiritual eye, we understand that death is not the end. We understand that the Lord, punched her ticket and called her spirit back to the Father, man. But it also made me think about other things, man. It made me think about my own mother and father, right? It made me think about the time we have on this earth. It also made me think about the Lord coming back sooner than later. And I have been having a mix of emotions with everything right now. But also, the scriptures talk about we have to honor our elders, man. My grandmother, and I'm not going to make this all about my grandma, but it just got me to think about these spiritual things. But this one woman had 3 sons, and those 3 sons had so many sons within those 3 sons that literally, if you went to a family reunion, it's a bunch of men. You'll see women scattered amongst it, but I think, like, perfect example, my one uncle probably got like 16 kids, and out of the 16 kids, I believe like 13 out of the 16 are all boys. My father has 7 kids. Out of all 7, 5 out of the 7 are boys, right? My other uncle, he only had 2, but therefore so on. And then those sons have had more sons and stuff like that. So this one woman is definitely worthy to be honored, double honors, because none of us would be here. Obviously, we know that the seeds passed by the Father, but this one woman had these 3 sons, and those 3 sons, bequeathed the rest of us, man. But it also made me think about.
Through her, there was at least 5 Israelites that woke up to the truth.
And then and out of this one woman, thank you for saying it like that. And we also talk about Pop, but he died when we were kids,
right?
Before you were born, and I think I might have been like 1 or 2 when he passed. So we didn't get a chance to actually have a relationship with him at all. Right. But we got to give him honors as well, because that man, he was the seed. He was the one who bore the seed that. And out of all the men in our family, there's 5 of us that actually woke up to the truth,
which is very rare. In this life. Usually, it's like 1, maybe 2 out of a family,
and a whole family, exactly. So I just wanted to give that woman some reverence. It's still fresh from this morning, but I wanted to harp on what death is and what it means and what the scriptures say about it. But then I'm also going to give into some other thoughts that I actually felt from everything I've been thinking, and I'm going to unload them systematically. But I want to get into some brothers bring up death is not the end, and that all spirits go back to the Father.
I got that. I got all dust. I'm gonna get Ecclesiastes. It's Ecclesiastes 3. I was just reading this. I'm gonna start at 19. Give it some context. It says, "For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts. Every one that befalleth them." It says, "Every one thing befalleth them. As one dieth, so does the other. it says, yea, they have all one breath, so that a man have no preeminence above a beast for all his vanity. Basically meaning we die like animals.
Yep.
We all go out the same way.
We all have one thing promised,
Kinda.
right? And that is death. But also Scripture says that all of us will see death.
Yeah.
And all of us see. But that's because of we're in days.
In the end time. Yeah.
But all of us have been guaranteed death. Because remember, we all have reincarnated from generation to generations, right? So I don't want to sit here and say that we all haven't tasted it before. But in this last era, there are going to be some that don't see death. But we also understand that all men, all beasts, have one.
They're mortals.
We're mortals. We're mere mortals.
Subject to death.
So we're subject unto death. Exactly. You know, and I just wanted to give that woman double honors. My grandmother, we called her my mom. And, you know, I'm not going to harp too much into that because there's other things that arose with these feelings. But what else you got?
That's the other point. Verse 20, it says, all go unto one place, and all are of the dust, and all turn to dust again.
So we understand that, you know, death is not the end. And we also know that all spirits, whether you were good, bad, evil, whether you did atrocities on the earth, all spirits go back to the Father. All. Doesn't matter what nation, what group of people you come from, they all go back to the Father because we all still must be judged at Judgment Day, right? So some of us, when we pass, they're in what you would call paradise. If you want to call it limbo, right? You're not in heaven. You know, you're in like I would say a form of heaven, but not like the kingdom of heaven. It's not like the kingdom of heaven. You're literally in something called paradise. We understand this because remember when King Solomon, remember when King Solomon went to the witch and told her to conjure King Saul. I'm sorry, Salakia. King Saul went to a witch and told her to conjure Samuel so he can ask him a question about the Most High, right? And when the witch conjured Samuel, he asked Samuel, he basically just asked Samuel, did the Lord lose favor? Did I lose the Lord's favor? And Samuel basically says, yo, why would you call me back here? I was at rest. I was basically in paradise. He was living good, right? If you could find it real quick, just to give the gift.
First Samuel.
Yeah, just to give. Salakia, it's Saul, not Solomon. Saul was the first king. If they could find it, but
I got it. It's First Samuel 28.
Okay. But the reason why I bring this up, I just want to get a proven point that all spirits go back to the Father, and that death is not the end. You know. And I know people say this in like the churches and eulogies and stuff like that, and I don't really get into all the Christian, you know, BS, you know. But I gotta say, you know, one thing when my father, my father was a mama's boy, which is not a bad thing. Most so-called Black, Latino, Native American men grew up with their mothers. So my father sent to the group chat that his mom passed this morning, well, our grandmom passed this morning, and I know that hurt his spirit, right? But it also made me think about my parents, my father, my mother, and that, you know, my father is 60 years old now, and my mother is about 57, 58 right now, right? And it made me think about the time spent with them, because our parents are at an age where if the Lord allows this earth to go on for another 15, 20 years, they only might have 15 to 20 years left. And that's a very short time on this earth, right? I've watched my mother and father go from vibrant young kids while we were kids, and as they got older and older, and I watched my father slow down a little bit. No, he's still vibrant. He's still, I know I travel with my pop, I still move around. You know, my pop's still vibrant, but I'm starting to see my father slow down. And I'm looking at the mortality rate, right? Well, we're mortals. We are prone to death, right? We're not immortal yet. And it made me think about the Lord coming back sooner. You got that? You got Samuel?
Yeah.
Bring it out real quick.
It don't necessarily go into.
Well, no, I just want to say, he called him back from the spirit world.
Something about why did you waken me out of sleep?
Yeah, I'm looking for that.
And then the NLT.
It's fine, bro. Y'all don't even got to get it. I already quoted it.
It's First Samuel 28.
Yeah. So, it started making me think about my mother and father, and then the time that we had, right? It says, the scripture says, honor thy mother and father that your days shall be prolonged upon the earth, right?
It is 15.
You got it?
15, yeah. But it just basically said, 1 Samuel 20:15, and Samuel said unto Saul, why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul, and basically, why have you brought me up? Yeah. It's probably in another version it goes more.
It went more into it when I first read it a while ago. It was a while ago, but it's cool. Fellas, it's not that deep. We're going to transition a little bit. But it started making me think about the Lord coming back, because I personally don't want to see my parents grow old and die. I don't want to go through what my father just went through, or what my family's going through right now, right? And I'm looking and I'm thinking about it, and I know this might sound crazy to y'all, but I'd rather see my mother and father get taken out by an angel and knowing that it was a hit from the Lord than to see them grow old and slow down slowly but surely. Like go from being vibrant to all of a sudden you start slowing down.
Start becoming lethargic.
Becoming lethargic, because the thing about my grandmother, I think it's called dementia. She went from being a woman who traveled a lot. I'm talking about she went around the world traveling. I'm talking India, all over the place. Probably went to almost every country and almost every kind of area you could think of. She collecting little elephant figurines. That was her little hobby, elephant figurines. But I remember her being a vibrant, boy, what you doing? To the last time we seen her was at Fogo de Chao, and I had my daughter with me, and she would go, is that my baby? Is that my great granddaughter? I said, yeah. And then, oh my goodness, why you don't bring her around enough? And then 5 minutes later, she come and ask me the same question. Is that my baby? Because her mind was gone. And I watched over the years my grandmother start to deteriorate. Now, mind you, I don't know what it feels like to lose a parent, right? I personally don't want to have to lose any of my parents, right? But I also know that
and not to lose them and then just life to go on.
And like I don't personally want to see it. Like I feel like, put it like this. I know we all are longing for Yahweh Shem Shah to come back sooner than later. And it says in the scriptures that he's going to speed up the time for the elect sake. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, I can't do another 15 years on this planet. I can't do another 15 years on the side. I won't be able, and I mean this from the bottom of my spirit, I don't think I'll be able to watch my parents slowly but surely slow down, if you know what I mean, right? And then that ultimate end-all be-all. I'd rather it be Jacob's trouble and the Lord
just do it quick.
Just do it quick, and then all right.
And then next thing you know, a few weeks to few months later, we're in the kingdom.
In the kingdom, and then we see him again or something, you know. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle that personally. So, and like I said, I wanted to start this lesson just with some spiritual thoughts, because it just started making me think about the Lord. It started making me think about Jacob's trouble. It started making me think about life. It started making me think about Esau and the end and their plans. And I'm a mix of emotions. Now, Esau has already come out and basically said that their plans are supposed to be in full effect by the year 2031. Now, the reason why I use 2031 is because they believe that their new world order will be established by then. Their new monetary system, which is the money system, and the new regime should be under the Noahide laws. 2031 is the number they always keep talking about. They're already talking about in 2026 that everyone must have a real ID. If not, you won't be able to travel from state to state. So they're already, remember 2 Ezra 15 chapter, you're not going to be able to go into certain cities. Mm-hmm. They're already starting to create the atmosphere for it. And honestly, I hope it comes faster than that. The reason why is because I don't want to personally see my parents slow down. I would rather go through the trenches and to witness that. I would rather be an angel come and take my father out, and then I knew for a fact, the Lord, all right, than to see him wither away. So, I would say this to you, brethren, congregation. I know that all of our family isn't in the truth, right? But I also would tell you to cherish the relationships you have now, honor thy mother and father, and try to spend as much time as possible with your loved ones. Because we also know that 2/3 of our people will be cut off. That means most of our families are going to be wiped out. Right? What?
It's Sirach 40:1. And what you were just going into, how we, us not wanting to see our parents, just go old. This is going into that great travail, right? It's Sirach 40:1. It says, great travail is created for every man, and a heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam. from the day that they go out of their mother's womb to the day that they return to the mother of all things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we just being born in the flesh is travail. It's a battle.
This is a battle because remember it says that our bodies are what? Chains of darkness. Remember, we are the soul living within the flesh. We are not the flesh with a soul. Gotta have that understanding. All spirits go back to the Father. So before you were in thy, remember it talks about this. Before you were in thy womb, the Lord has known you. He placed the spirit into thy womb, into that flesh for you to be born. All right. So since the day you were born to the day you're back to the mother of all things, which
your
is
body is already made. You know how the movie Avatar, right?
Yeah.
You know how they had their avatar bodies inside of they had it inside of the little water and it was like twitching and moving.
Mm-hmm.
It's likened to the babies in the womb. And although it might be moving and twitching and stuff, the spirit's not within the baby yet until it comes out, and that first cry is that breath of life, that spirit going into the body.
That's why
so you're in the spirit world, and you're like, yeah, that's gonna be your mom right there. That's your pop. Yeah, you got 2 more months in that body, and then you know what I mean.
real talk. Real
So
talk.
you in there, your spirit, like, all right, that's gonna be my body right there.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? So, like you said, we're the spirit first, and then we're the body. So we don't really hold to these bodies too
Yeah,
much.
this is why in the scriptures it talks about that you will be be transformed in the twinkling of an eye. The terrestrial can't put on what is the celestial, meaning that our bodies will be left behind because these bodies are just chains of darkness, and we will put on a new body, a new sleeve, if you
Made
will,
in heaven, yeah.
and you will be basically made to be immortal in the kingdom of heaven. All right, so we are the spirit living within the body, not the body.
Basically,
spirit.
like just at that point, that's why we call it spiritual body, because it's essentially going to be your spirit made into a body.
Yeah, that's heavy. Celestial type.
Because the
shit.
spirit is eternal, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to have
pure.
like your body is going to be made up of your spirit. Therefore, it's going to be eternal. That's crazy. Think about it. Like you are your body. Think about it. We have organs and digestive system.
It's all flesh.
It's all flesh. In the new spiritual body, I like to think that it's just going to be like energy. It's just going to be this.
Yeah.
It's going to be like
we going. It's like
it's
we're
like-
gonna be able to take shape, whatever shape we want.
yeah, like it's
And meaning
just
of-
like water.
It's like how the chariots be. They shift and show us whatever they want us to see. We going
we gonna be the same way.
to these heathens.
Like you can sit here on the wall and just go through the wall.
Yeah.
Because you are whatever
Yeah.
you wanted. You are the elements.
Yeah, that's why it says. That's why Yahweh Shah talks about adding one.
It's like you're not the elements, but you control the
You
elements.
control the elements. Yeah.
So you can manipulate your fleshly body, like I said, like water. Water can take the form and shape of
If
whatever
anything
it's
is in.
in.
Yeah.
Talking about every movie, every show they ever made is just all going back to that. These are sleeves. That altar carbon.
Yep.
These are soldier sleeves. You know what I mean? Before we get them real suits back.
Yeah.
Let me get, if you ain't got, I'm gonna get 2 Corinthians real quick. Just going into that.
Yeah, man, it's just making me think, man. Like the Lord got to come back, man. The Lord got to come back because I personally don't want to. I don't want to have to deal with that, man.
Plus, having kids, man, this shit is just another worry and stress. Like, as them growing up in Babylon and the world, you know, you just like, it's
You
like,
literally gotta tell them the world ain't shit.
just, bro, and then you gotta worry about their health and shit. Like, you gotta worry about their safety.
With their feet getting
but-
fed.
But this is also why, if I may add, brothers,
You good, bro.
this is also why prayer is so important. The most important thing, man, is prayer. Now, mind you, what is prayer? It's
Prayer of faith.
basically begging the Lord. We literally have to beg the Lord continually to come back, because the Lord, time for the Lord is not like time for us. So I'm talking about a measly 15 years. The Lord looking at me like, bro, that's not even a blink. Now, mind you, I'm pretty sure the Lord understands our pain.
The Lord understands our timeline.
He understands our timeline.
He put us in these weak ass
He
bodies.
knows
anyway.
15
years to us is a long time.
15 years is short when you're 60. 15 years seems like a long time when you're 15.
Yeah.
We at the point where we're grown men now. We are exactly where
We teetering right in the middle.
we are literally where we seen our parents when we were young.
Real shit.
We are literally at the ages where they were still and
though.
we looking at them like, what y'all doing?
All that
Can you
energy.
give me some money so I can go to the corner store and get some chips? We at that age. But now we see our parents at that
They
age.
transition into that next.
They in that next realm. Literally, bro, the next realm after that is death. If you want to be honest, it's like 4 stages of your life. And each stage is basically 15 years if you want to be realistic.
You go based off of Esau's timeline.
But when I say that, because think about it. First 15 years, remember, especially for boys, I'm going to use men. First 15 years, probably around 12, 13, 14, 15, you're finally hitting that full-blown puberty. You in that, you feel like a new man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then, by 30, you a grown-ass man. It's no more...
There is no more like, yo, you're not in your 20s no more.
Hey, yo, bro,
30s.
something, you 30. Then you turn 45, everybody expects you to just be like, bro, you complete. You
basically.
complete. Then you hit 60. Oh, you getting ready to retire. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that 5th one,
It's basically like in the life.
In the life.
In the life.
You just, the Lord just.
and
keeping
guess
you
what?
around.
And if you want to be realistic, our parents are on the 5th one. Now, the Lord can take you out any day. It doesn't mean that just because I'm talking about 5 steps.
And you can go longer.
You can go longer, obviously. Some people, Mother Dear passed away at 87.
I'd be.
My mom passed away just today at 83.
I'd be having 102-year-old patients and shit.
Yeah,
bro.
man.
Man, this one old head I seen on a book, Jake, 110 years old. He said his dad died. He outlived his pop. But his dad, right, he was 110. He said, well, one thing my dad taught me how to live. Basically how to eat. He ate 5 things, bro. It was olive oil. It was fucking ginger.
They call
It was like
olive
5
oil liquid gold.
Yeah, bro. It was like 5
When
things.
it's
that
real
he ate.
olive oil, because you got
Yeah,
Real shit, though.
One of my coworkers I work with, he's Palestinian. And
he's one of us.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Man, I watched this. I
He's
did this.
devout Muslim, but
but most of them are because they don't know no better.
Yeah.
Remember, the Jerusalem and everything was taken over by what? Remember the Holy City? If you remember about the original Crusades, what was the Crusades about? The Holy City was taken over by who? By the Muslims. That's why a lot of them, the Palestinians and all that, or if you want to call it Gaza and all that,
Yeah,
a lot of them are actual Israelites. Not all of them, but our people are still there. Our people have been there since
it's crazy
70 AD.
because he's a devout Muslim, but I'll have like deep conversations with him about he goes into Arabic. He tell me, but it's crazy because he's more knowledgeable about the Bible than Christians, and we talking about it like yeah. See, one thing about Christians, man, they don't practice what they preach. He like Allah says with the book of Abraham.
You know why?
I follow the Bible because in the Quran
because
says,
Muhammad himself says if you want to know the truth, you got to go read the Bible. So Muhammad even tells Muslims to go read the Bible.
Yeah.
So if any Muslims denounces the
Not
Bible,
you ain't no Muslim.
you're not even a Muslim.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing that that's a whole nother topic, but that's true.
Yeah.
Brother.
But yeah, basically he was like, he said, I got some. He said, I can get you. He said, the next time I see you, remind me. He said, I'm gonna get some fresh olive oil from one of my uncle's farms.
Oh no, you good? Right here.
I know. His uncle owns the one joint I go to.
Okay, so the one right here,
He probably own that shit
the
too.
Al Sham right here.
Yeah.
They do, bro. Lamb, the whole
It'll be
lamb.
like Palestinian olive oil.
Bro,
and
it'll
shit,
be
bro.
like fresh. Oh, they was selling fresh.
Bro, the olive
fresh
oil
no,
seeds
yeah,
of
bro.
the-
They literally got it in there. They got fresh pressed olive oil that they make
Yeah,
themselves.
you literally have.
And you can
the
go.
Pope is
So,
in
bro,
there,
you can go right here, literally right there. It's right there. But
That's what we
you're right, brother.
So
So I just want to like listen. Like I said, this is all in my spirit because it's reminding me of the mortality of man. It's reminding me of the time frame that we have on this planet. It's reminding me of the simple scriptures like what's to get that scripture? It says, "Do everything with all thy might."
Yeah.
Get that real quick. It's reminding me of scriptures like this.
What's the joint, man? It's a few days or you was doing.
No, pray for me.
I got what you got.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just thinking of
You
another.
get that
You want Ecclesiastes what 9 or 10?
This is what he wants.
10 and 9.
Yeah, he
9
wants 9 and 10. It's Ecclesiastes 9 and chapter verse 10. It says, "Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest."
So I wanted the brother to bring that out because I need everybody to really understand this precept. It hits home when you're close to death. When I say close to death, I'm not saying you're probably dying, but your loved ones or someone close to you. Matter of fact, just read it.
11.
Just read it.
You literally, yes, you know.
Yep.
It says verse 11, it says, I returned and I saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet. Wait, bro.
So it says, when I seen under the sun, it's talking about on the earth, that the race is not swift, right? You're not trying to get to your destination fast, because getting to your destination usually means death. What you're trying to do is slow it down, right? Go ahead.
The battle was not to the strong.
Exactly.
The brutes, we know, hey, we know the brute, the physically strong is not going to win this battle.
Exactly.
It's the spiritual.
Yep. Go ahead.
It says, continuing in 11, it says, not, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all.
So time and chances, mind you, because what's the most, mind you, all the richest people in the world, what is the one thing they would trade all their money for? More time. More time. Right? They would trade all their billions and trillions of dollars just for more time.
That's why you see movies
Like
like
In Time.
In Time, but what's that other movie where the dude actually got his new body? Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, John. I understand.
Yeah.
And also, it's a guy in real life, the billionaire, who spent was a $50 million a year to anti-age. He was taking his own son's blood and plasma and putting it through his body, and he takes a regimen of pills just to slow his aging. And he actually slowed down his biological age. When he reversed his age, it's actually all over the. It's just
I
some.
believe it to be true. It's like witchcraft.
Because
it's
don't
real.
don't abhor the herbs of the earth. He's taking in all the things that are supposed to prolong your life. The problem with our society and what the world is, right? Now, mind you, the Lord has set our bounds to 120, right? Mm-hmm. It says,
Shalom.
"Hey, Mom, that's my mother, Dr. Stephanie, Mom Dukes." But the Lord has set our bounds to 120, right? Remember, after the days of the flood, after the flood, he set it to 120. Now, if you live any past 120, I've heard some stories of some people living a little longer. It's an anomaly, but the Lord must have done that for a reason, you know. But the Lord set our bounds to 120. But then with stresses, with oppression, with malnutrition, water, pollution, and all the things that this world is created upon,
lack of fasting, which is probably
which people don't fast or anything like that. People are dying literally a whole 40 years sooner than they're supposed to.
Shit,
60 years sooner, 70 years sooner.
I be having patients 58, 62, the hospice, decrepit.
Yep.
End of life, failure to thrive.
But the main reason is because what? The main reason, and I got to be honest with you, the main reason that people are dying sooner is because the world is controlled by the devil. And the reason why I say that is because literally they did a study that the highest rates of depression in history are now. The highest rates of people on opioids or antidepressants right now. It says 1 in 3 women are on antidepressants, right? Anxiety medication, right? They're saying that liquor sales are at an all-time high. Weed sales are at an all-time high. People are running from something, right? They say stress is a main killer of a lot of people, right? Sugar is in everything. Your health system, right? What is dementia? Sugar in the brain. What is cancer? Usually sugar in some kind of form. Overabundance of sugar is killing people. Now, mind you, inflammation is killing people.
Inflammation actually feeds off of sugar.
Exactly, feeds off of sugar. Now, mind you, who created all these narratives? Who created this system to put everybody, literally everybody, into slavery, a mental slavery? Think about it. Most of you people can't go a day without eating. Did you know that's an addiction? You probably didn't even know that the human body is not supposed to eat every day. You might supposed to eat maybe once or twice a week. Your body should be in a constant state of ketosis. What ketosis basically does is your body's eating fat for energy, but also it's a natural way for your body to heal itself. But also what it does is autophagy. Yeah. But also it's a natural way, because what happens is when you don't eat for a certain amount of days. I'm not going to go too much into the health. My mother is really good with this. She's a doctor.
Technically, after 36 hours, I think you start to go into autophagy.
14 hours. In 14 hours, you go into ketosis within 14, right away. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because what happens, the reason why your body goes into ketosis is because your body doesn't know that you're just fasting. Your body, what it starts to do is, okay, this is fight or flight. We need to heal and fix anything we need to fix because we need to be ready for the next hunt.
Especially if you're moving around and
Because
you're
remember,
active.
we're supposed to be humans are supposed to be hunter-gatherers. So basically, you're in ketosis. This is why they say when people go into ketosis, what happens is they get clarity in their brain. Their eyesight gets better. They start to feel like they're superhuman. It's why? Because their body is giving them that natural energy that will get to the next meal. If you were to fast a 7-day fast once every 6 months, it literally says that you will reverse aging. You would slow down your aging process. You would slow down. You would be lower levels of stress, lower levels of getting cancer, and all types of things, right? Just from fasting, right? But look at the world we live in. Everything is based on stress. And what is stress? A killer. What is anxiety? A killer. What is depression? A killer. What is cancer? A killer. All these things were all created by who? Satan. Now, mind you, we also know that the Lord controls all things, so life and death isn't, get that, life and death isn't the power of
That's
it.
Satan's duty.
Yep, but Satan was created to do what?
Dr. Steph said, sugar breeds parasites. Parasite increases toxic load. Ketones feed the brain.
Preach. Thank you, Mother. This is where I get a lot of my knowledge from, for the YouTube work. Okay.
Death and life on the power
Yeah,
of tongue.
but we understand that death and life is, death and life is the power of the Messiah. I bring up, I bring down, I make rich, I make poor. I kill, I make alive.
It's a cut.
I kill, I make alive.
That's First Samuel.
Yeah, First Samuel.
First Samuel,
The
that's
Lord,
prayer,
the
yeah,
Lord
that's
controls
the Lord.
all this stuff, right? And also, the Lord also said that the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, right, for an appointed time, right? Because we know that the wicked can't pass the bounds that the Lord has created. We know that the wicked can only go as far as the Lord allows. Perfect example. I'll use the story of Job, right? I'm not going to go too deep into it, but when when Satan and the Most High had a bet on Job, the Father gave him instruction. He says, you can do anything you want to him, but you can't kill him. So that was a bound that it was set upon Satan, right? Satan cannot do anything to anyone without the consent of the Heavenly Father. This is what a lot of people don't understand. So my grandmother passing this morning, we all understand that was the Lord calling her spirit back. Right? Go ahead, got it?
It's Isaiah 45:7. I'm going to start at 6. It says, and 5. I am the Lord Yahweh, and there is none else. There is no power beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me. They that may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is, it says that there is none beside me. I am the Lord Yahweh, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things.
So he says, I create peace and make evil. I, the Lord Yahweh, do all these things. I bring down, I make rich, I make poor. It's going down.
1 Samuel 2:6, it says, the Lord killeth and maketh alive.
The Lord killeth and maketh alive.
He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up.
Uh-huh.
The Lord Yahweh maketh poor and he maketh rich. He bringeth low and he lifteth up. He raiseth out of the poor, Salakia. He raiseth up out, he raiseth this. I know that joint is.
Every 3 seconds.
I know, bro, I'm moving. It says, he raiseth up the poor out of the dust and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among the princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory.
So we understand that the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, right, does all these things. And we understand that he allowed the spiritual demon Satan and his counterpart, devils, right? We already know his children, the 13 ruling bloodlines of Lucifer. You can look that up yourself. We understand that his offspring, the Edomites, are on this planet sowing wickedness unto themselves because that's what they were created to do. But we also know that the Lord gave us wisdom, which is the knowledge and scriptures of this Bible, right? And he told us how to what? How to hide ourselves from all forms of evil, how to pray and fast to get rid of certain demons. And he also told us not to abhor the herbs of the earth, right? Because they shall be meat and medicine unto you, right? From Genesis all the way from, Genesis talking about meat unto you, and then the other one is talking about it'll be medicines unto you, right? Sirach, right? Khan, Kawada. So we understand that, and mind you, this is why it says in the scriptures that our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, right? Everything in this world is against you Israelites. Everything. From the moment you wake up to the moment you lay down. From the clothing you wear, to the water you drink, to the air you breathe, to the food you eat. Everything is governed to kill you. The difference between some, more than others, is they have that understanding and knowledge of the scriptures to be able to combat it. Right? Most of us don't. Think about it. In most of our neighborhoods, you can go to the Poppy store, you go to the Chinos, you can go to the gas station, and everything is nothing but convenience,
package,
sugar, and death. All of it is governed to kill us. Why do you think with the most overweight population is what? Us. Right? Chiefly our women, but us. Right? Why do you think the most broken down family structures are us? Why do you think the less marriages are with us? Why do you think the most atrocities and things are always done on us? We already know about Deuteronomy and the curses that put upon us, right? And our people don't know this information, so they cannot combat the wiles of the devil, right? We need to understand that without wisdom and understanding, without our power, we will be destroyed. This is why the scripture says he will speed up time for the elect's sake. Because if he doesn't, there shall be no more flesh left to save. Right?
I love that scripture. That's a brother Brandon.
I got it. Yeah.
Oh, you already got it?
Yeah,
All right.
right.
This one. I'll grab this after that.
Actually, I don't have that one, but I do have this.
Bring them both out.
It's a lot. 2nd Esdras 2, and I shall start at verse 12. They shall have the tree of life for an ointment of sweet savor. They shall neither labor nor be weary. It's going to the kingdom. Go and ye shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch.
So the Lord is telling us to pray for a few days. Why? Because this place that we're in, this valley, the valley of dry bones, this place, aka America, this place is literally, it was created to be literally a prison for our people, to be a destruction unto our people, to be for us to be corrected by the Heavenly Father, right? This is also a place for us to learn our lesson, right? To be chastised, to be judged, to be corrected, right? To be able to think about our families, to be able to think about the plights of our lives, to be able to think about our power, to harp on all the atrocities and things that are going on. We're supposed to be in a contrite spirit. We're also supposed to be in a place of mourning, because this is not our rest, all right? You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans don't understand that without us coming together, and mind you, we already know that all of us are not going to come together, because the prophet says that 2/3 of our people are going to be cut off. But for those who are in the know, those who are waking up, those who have been woken up, we need to do a better job with the relationships that we do have. Everyone that crosses your path, man. The Lord sends people in your path for various reasons, whether it's to build you up or to break you down, whether it's to teach you a lesson, or whether to teach you something, man. You know, you good, bro? Good. You got that other precept?
Yeah. Matthew 22, 24 and 22. I'll start at 21. For then there shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor shall ever be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
So the main reason why I wanted the brother to bring that precept out is because we got to pray that our Heavenly Father sends Yahweh Shai back sooner than later. Because I personally don't want to see my mother and father get old. I don't want to have to deal with what my father dealt with this morning. I don't want to see my parents slow down. I remember my mother and father being vibrant and young and dancing, my mother singing, and my dad being part of a bike club, and and just all of the, when they were youthful, super youthful. But my mother and father, you know, are they're still young in spirit, but they're getting to an age where, you know, it is getting a little spooky, a little scary. My grandmother, right, my other grandmother who's still here, she talks a real good game about always being, oh, I'm fine. Anytime you call her, I'm great. I'm debonair. I'm doing wonderful. But little do you know, I talked to her son, which is my uncle, and he telling me, man, she having bad knee problems. It's hard for her to lift things. She's not going to tell you that because of her pride. So I'm saying this to all you brothers and sisters there in the truth and the know, even though that we might not be evenly yoked with our family, we also need to understand that the Lord allowed us to be a part of whatever family you were in. You know, so you got to, you know, cherish the time you have with your family when you do have it. Reconcile with your brother or your sister or your mother or your father or your cousins when you can, if you can, all right? You know, honor thy mother and father. Give reverence to your elders, you know? Visit them more. I'm actually going to make it imperative to go visit my grandmother at least once a week for the foreseeable future, because I don't understand. She's what, 70 something, and let's be realistic. Lord will, she has another 10, 15, maybe 20. Lord will, but let's be realistic. The age expectancy in America has been dropping. It's been dropping. It's not going up. Remember, it was a great time in the early 60s. The life expectancy was going up. It was booming. Everybody's getting better. Oh yeah, it's getting better. Now all of a sudden, because of depression, the food, the water, the opioids, and all these things going on, it's dropping. My grandmother is 70 something years old now. I'm not sure the exact age, but I would prefer the Lord to come back, crack the sky, wage war with the earth, kill everybody he need to kill, and then we all just be renewed with new spiritual bodies in the kingdom of heaven. And then any of my family members that had to pass on this side, we'll see them through the loins. At least they'll be in their right mind. I personally don't want to have to deal with my parents or my grandmother passing before me. I don't want to see it.
And then you just have to go on with life as normal.
And then go on with life as normal. Like, bro, do you understand?
It'd be different if we in a time of tribulation and shit. Like, damn, you know it's all good though. Yo,
gonna
we
see
in Jacob's trouble. The Lord
Mr.
around the corner.
Yeah,
We already
because if Jacob's trouble hit, we know that that's a short time, and the Lord on his way.
Yeah.
But I'm talking
But right
about,
now, it's like
whoa.
It's really like you can't really tell. Like you
don't-
can guess.
You
like,
can see it. You can see it.
But you can't even. But bro, you never know.
Yeah, man. You know the war.
Anything can happen.
Exactly. The war.
We could be like, yo, this is it, and then. Oh, breaking news. We've come to a great resolution. World peace.
Look what just happened.
2000.
Look,
2000, remember?
Not even that. Look what just happened recently, if y'all been keeping it on your watch. You know about India and Pakistan fighting, right? And then you also know that Americans went through a short treaty with China to lower the tariffs. Then he's also passing a peace bill he's trying to broker a peace bill between Ukraine and Russia. Bro, no! We need this shit to keep...
Well, you know,
now, mind you, peace and
safety,
safety, sudden destruction. I'm not saying that that's not being set up for that. But
that doesn't mean that that's sudden destruction. We don't know what sudden is. Sudden could be years.
Exactly.
Because in the world of peace, if there's world war going on and they come to a peace and everyone stops fighting, 5 years is not. It sounds like a while, but it's really not in terms of peace. It's all good. After 5 years, people are just trying to get back on their feet. And think about it, bro.
Look at when they dropped the atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
It take decades.
It took 50 plus. Bro, remember the radiation and all. Bro,
generations was fucked up.
And the generations was fucked up. Remember, to this day, the Japanese has a very low birth rate ever since that shit. That's why I remember come. We're asking black men to come to Japan and repopulate this motherfucker. Fucking hilarious, but
it's gonna be Le Pen then.
You know what I mean?
Le Pen.
But I go to say all this, man. You got to think about it. My father, and I'm going to use my father. My father is 60 years old. Let's be realistic. The age expectancy for a so-called black man in America right now, if you look it up, it's probably about 68.
Why? They working till they die.
Yep.
They smoking probably cigarettes, cigars. They drinking sodas,
food It's mainly food.
Eating 3-4 times a day. That's how you get diabetes.
Yep, diabetes.
Because you lose your insulin sensitivity because you're constantly spiking your blood sugar. Constantly. Whereas, like you said, our ancestors, and even if you just go back maybe 100 years, if even that, you were eating once a day, maybe twice.
And also, you got to think about the food at the time. Everything had to be grown. Remember, they used to have milkmen. Remember? You would have to put your glass bottle out on the porch. The milkman will come by, bring you new milk from the same bottle. No plastics or all the microplastics and all that. Bro, this place is fucking hell. It's hell. That's why the death toll is skyrocketing. This is also how we know this is the end. This is what I'm saying. Because remember, it says it's going to be like a time like no other. This is a time where obesity is all-time high. Cancer's at an all-time high. Depression's at an all-time high. The diplomacy around the world is just fucked everywhere. I don't care what you want to hear. It's the truth. Everybody is starting to what? Hate each other all over again. You're starting to see more and more division. Governments are, the love of many is starting to wax cold. We understand that this is the end. Let's just say the Lord gives my father 15 years. My father's going to be 75. 15 years from 60 is a short time. 15 years from 15 is a long time. Wow. You got to understand the stages of life. I travel with my father everywhere. Literally from Asia to South America. It doesn't matter, right? And I've over the years, as I've been traveling with my dad for the past probably 10 years now. My first time we took a trip outside of we went to Dominican Republic or whatever, some years ago. And I remember my dad being more vibrant. Now, you ever notice when we go with Pop, we'll be out on vacation and he will literally take a break for a whole day. Hey, I'm gonna let y'all rock out the whole day. I'll get with y'all tomorrow. And like, where Dad at? He's still asleep and he'll sleep an entire day. Why? Because he's slowing down. He need that recovery. That right there, I never thought about it. Like, yo, Pop, you starting to get a little old, man. Stop playing. We trying to keep him young, but at the same time, it's like, shit. The man is 60 right now.
Nah, he doesn't take care of his health.
And he doesn't take the care of his back. He did, bro, and mind you, but the one thing is you can't put new wine into an old bottle. My father is stuck in his ways. He believes he knows everything. We could only sit here and tell him, hey, we love you. Hey, Pop, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do this. You can do that. Go back to the gym. Da-da-da. We can say all those things, but it takes for him as a man to want to do it for himself. So it's, and I'm not saying my father is like decrepit or anything like that. No, he just doesn't take care of himself the way we know he should.
I'm not gonna buy him a song.
Oh, you talking about the portable joint?
The portable one, it's 150. It's a steamer. It's really a steamer.
It's body.
It's your head out, right? It's like a tent. And you put it together like poles, and you put the little insulated thing over it, and you can zip up, put a chair in it.
Put a chair in it.
You hook up the machine. It goes into a hose. And you put water in it, and it's steam. It's only 150.
You know what? Let's do it.
Let's do it. Amazon 150. It's a steamer.
That's the thing. Think about it.
And they say we talked about it. 20 minutes a day in a sauna or a steamer.
And that's another thing
about
it
increases your life expectancy about 40.
That's another thing about the plight of America.
Detoxify.
You gotta understand something.
Your artery.
This place is literally governed to kill you. They make you a gear in a system where you work your entire life to finally hit 60 to 65 and then retire. And then your retirement is only the next 10 to 15 years, and then you die.
And then but then at that, your retirement, you probably
you can't even enjoy it because you old, your knees hurt, your ankles hurt, everything is broken, your back hurt, your arm hurt, everything hurting. So you can't even enjoy the money that you accrued it. This is why this place is a freaking cesspool of death. And you people, and all you people, don't seem to understand the importance of the things around you. Appreciation, right? The Lord gives us our daily bread. And as Israelites, we understand this. Whether we're brought to a low estate or we're brought up high, we're supposed to give glory and honor unto the Lord in all that we do.
You read it.
Right?
It's Ecclesiastes 9 and 10. With everything I do all thy might.
And it says, Ecclesiastes 9 and 10, it says, do everything with all thy might.
When you go to the grave,
when you die, there is no more work.
So you might as well just do your best.
So
why
so half-ass? You also got to think about it. How many of you, and let's be realistic, how many of you probably going to watch this video?
And it says, whatever thou do is do it as unto the Lord.
And also do it as unto the Lord. Everything you do as unto the Lord, right? Right? Do it as though you're trying to please the Lord, right? But all you people that they're sitting on dreams or sitting on things that you always wanted to do, and you never, I'm talking about something simple. Let's say you always wanted to drive a motorcycle, and you wanted to go get your bike license. And every year you keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. And then finally you old and there's no point in getting a bike. You're too old to even enjoy a bike. Why'd you wait so long? Who's stopping you? What excuse do you have? That's in everything in life. All right?
Micah 2:10. Rise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction.
So the Lord is also letting us know right here that this side is not our rest. For you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, this is not your rest. We're not supposed to be living deliciously. Some of us might start making more money than others, but think about it. We have no continuing city. We have no sovereign country we can go to. We have no army we can call upon when we're being oppressed. Our own people will kill each other before they help us. Literally, think about this. You will have 20 young niggas on the corner with guns ready to kill each other, and one cop car pull up, they scatter like roaches. That's how destroyed our nation is. We have no rest here. So all we can long for and hope for and pray for is for Yahweh Shah to come back so we can establish our rest. Right?
Hebrews 13 and 14.
Go ahead.
We have no continuing city, but we seek one to come.
We seek one to come. At least those who are in the know that have this wisdom, we seek for something far greater than we can ever imagine. None of us know what rulership feels like. None of us know what it feels like to wake up and walk outside and not be racially profiled. None of us know what it feels like to not apply for a job, and just because the color of your skin, when you put on there a male and black, and all of a sudden you disqualified. Even if you overqualified, you won't get the job. None of us feel what it feels like to live actually free, because none of us has ever been free. Whether you think you are or not, you are not. None of us knows what it feels like to be truly safe. None of us know what it truly feels like to have love. I'm talking real love, unconditional love. Not that fake shit you see on TV. I'm talking real love. But for the Hebrew Israelites who learn the scriptures, we understand what love is, right? We understand love is an action word, right? Love is what the Father has been giving us since the inception of our nation. Since Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Every aspect of it.
Laying back off with bro. It's Luke 9 and 58.
I'm sitting in the back in the smoking section.
System popping up. It's a popping system. It's annoying as hell right now. It's clear. It's clear. So you got the doom. You got that joint mounted like a mother.
What? It's Luke 9 and 58. It says, and Yahweh Shai said unto him, foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath not where to lay his head. No continuing city. I mean, and I got the word pollute. The brother brought the Micah 2:10 out. It's literally to be unclean in every way, shape, or fashion. Sexually, spiritually, religiously, ceremonially. You know what I mean?
So basically, our nation is polluted in this land. Our nation is polluted sexually, mentally, morally, right? Spiritually. We're polluted. We're polluted by what? Other religions, other doctrines. We're polluted by the indoctrination of those that hate us. We are over-policed. We're killed in the streets like dung upon somebody's foot, right? We're the first fired, the last hired. We are literally given the end. We are literally given the end of the stick, the shortest end of the stick, man. Right? Our people hate each other. Right? Can't come together with nothing. Aren't you tired of this? Is any of y'all tired of this? Like, there's no love. I was talking to a brother, and I'm not going to bring up his name, but him and his entire family don't get along. Why? Because he's in the truth, and they are not. I was blessed enough to, have two brothers in this truth, and I have understanding family members around me, right? Not everybody has that understanding. This is why the Lord tells us to gather ourselves together. This is our brother. What does Yahweh Shah say? Who is my mother and who's my brother? Those who do the will of my Father, right?
They almost made it seem like they was trying to stop him from preaching too. Yo, bro, your mom. He like, yo, look.
Exactly.
This is my folks right here.
Yep. You mean?
This kind of goes in. This Sirach 10 and 10. It says in the Good News Translation, it says, my child, don't get involved in too many things. It says if you try to do too much, you will suffer for it. It says you won't be able to finish your work and you won't be able to get away from it either, right? And this is going into them pollutions, bro. You know what I mean? getting involved in unnecessary matters. What's the Sirach 3 going to how we're not supposed to seek things above our understanding, right? It's verse 11. It says, for instance, here is someone who never stops working like a slave, but gets further behind all the time. On the other hand, someone else may be very poor and is not up to his task. He may be slow and he may need help, but the Lord is pleased with him and pulls him out of his bad situation. Salaki. When he is back on his feet again, everyone is astounded. It's the point. Everything comes from the Lord. Success and failure, poverty and wealth, and life and death. Right?
God.
So the Lord controlling all things. I read that in the GNT because it's like, bro, it was heavy. Just what are we really worried about? What should we really? The surface level shit gotta go out the window.
Wisdom coming from a time of leisure, and he that have little business shall become wise. All right, not meaning that you can't have things going on, but if you always overextending yourself, then you'll never be able to grow. It's just like if you're training your muscles and you never allow your muscles to recover, you'll never expect to grow.
Exactly.
If you don't nourish them, you'll never grow. All right, so you have to have structure, order, and balance. And balance is, in the world, balance is a negative term because people say, oh, fuck balance, just work. And it's like, no, that's not, you can work smart. A lot of what's wrong with a lot of you people is y'all want to work hard all the time. You're supposed to work intelligently. You're supposed to work intelligent and work hard. Yeah. All right, not just one or the other. It has to be an accumulation of both. But with that, that's the balance of it, though.
What everyone needs is God.
Really? Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because we can sit here and talk about eating healthy, doing better, seeking other things. But if the Lord is not backing it, it's not going to work. Like the Lord says, don't abhor the herbs of the earth because there should be medicine unto you. But guess what? If the Lord is not blessing them herbs, the herbs have no effect.
They have no effect, exactly.
Right? If the Lord is not with you, then he's just not with you. So what everybody needs is a healthy fear of Yahweh Shem Shai. A healthy dose of what it means to love Yahweh Shem Shai, which literally is following his law, statutes, and commandments. That's how you show your love for Yahweh Shem Shai.
No other way.
Right?
The obedience is how you show your
obedience. And obedience, because it even says in the scriptures, it says, honor thy mother and father, that your days shall be prolonged upon the earth. Why? Because that's obedience. Even honoring your mother and father is your physical mother and father, but also your father up in heaven, which is following all such commandments, man. Pray, man. I know people talk all the time, oh, you're a prayer warrior. You should be.
Everybody should be.
Everybody should be. And if our nation would actually pray to Yahweh Shem Shai, he might come back sooner. I don't want to see my parents grow old, bro. I don't. I really don't. I'd rather go before them. I know my mom might not like the way that sounds, but at the end of the day, I'm being honest. I don't want to see it. I don't want to have to go through what my father went through this morning, man. And my father's a very strong man. I'm talking very strong-minded, strong man. You see him cry, it might be because he was drunk, and it's probably once every 10 years. That's it. When I called him earlier, he didn't sound like he cried. Now, I'm pretty sure when he gets by himself and he in his own little world, like by himself, you know, he might let loose a little bit. But I don't want to know what it feels like to lose a parent. All right? So, Yahweh Shem Shai got to come back sooner, man. And I mean it. I'd rather lose a parent in Jacob's trouble than lose a parent from old age. And the reason why I say that is because we understand that if Jacob's trouble is hitting, that means Yahweh Shai is on his way back. Because it also says that he's going to send the archangel Michael to defend what? The inhabitants of Jerusalem. To defend what? The 144,000 and 1/3. Those who fear the Lord. Those who hide in the shadow of the almighty name, Yahweh Shem Shai. That's what it says. So if we can get there, we can get closer to where we need to be. And I know people are like, damn, you want to get to Jacob's trouble? Bro, we got to go through that to get to the kingdom.
Got to go through that to get to the kingdom, bro.
So it's either like, yo, I'd rather do it now than do it 10 years from now. And then my mom and dad, they slow, I can't protect. Nah, bro. I'd rather just be like, if we going to do it.
If we got to go through it, you know how you go. You know how you
peel the Band-Aid off. Let's do it now.
Yeah, you know how you go through it. You got to go through a treatment. Yo, man, it's going to hurt. You want to do it now?
Let's do it.
Just do it now. Come on.
You know, like this. All right, on the count of 3, we're going to peel it.
Just pull it.
No. Just like count of 3. 1, 2. It's already pulled. Yeah, pull it. That's what I prefer, man. I prefer, man. But I say this, man. If you have any quarrels with your family, if you have any disagreements with your brethren, and you still alive and they still alive, reconcile while you can. Because when death comes, and it's coming for all, except for those who are elected not to see death, there's nothing else you're going to be able to say until the spiritual realm. All right? You got something? Got to move?
Yeah, it's Ephesians 4:25. It says, Wherefore put away lying. Speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. Be ye angry, and sin not, and let not the sun go down upon your wrath.
And let not the sun go down upon your wrath. All right? So, if anything you got from this lesson, man, is the fact that we need to pray. Pray for short days, and also pray for one another. We need to beg the Lord to come back to save us, right? We need to be more prudent and circumspect. We need to show forth what we've been taught through our wisdom, Proverbs, Psalms. If you need help with that, go read it. And we need to do better with our relationships with the people around us, if possible. Some can't be mended. But if you know you got vain squabbles with your family members and dumb stuff and just dumb reasons to be angry and not talking, the last thing you're going to want to feel is the loss of that person leaving before you got to say sorry. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. We want to give all praises, honor, and glory
Unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'arakatatash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles. Shalom to the elect. Shalom.